Have a seat. Welcome to Tea Time with Kitty. It's such a nice day outside, 80 degrees. I am having me some raspberry tea. No hot tea today. It's nice and hot, so I got something nice and cold. And I am having a nice glass of raspberry tea. So I hope you got your tea. Hi, sister. How are you today? I hope you got you some nice, cool tea so that we can get ready to get started. Just going to give 2 more minutes and then we'll start our discussion. I hope everyone is feeling well and that they had a great day. I had to take my daughter to the doctor's today, so I was making sure I pressed my way to get back here, and then afterwards, me and my best friend is going to go out for a little bit, and then I'll get my day started a little bit. You know, Wednesday, like my sister Karen said, that's also going to be my day to do something for myself, or get to do something, or go somewhere, or do something. So we're going to get ready to get started in 1 more minute. My topic today. Oh, you have a good. Oh, I want some of that. Okay. That's a nice tea right there. Yes, Stella Rose. So my topic today is going to be about COVID. Not the virus itself, but the vaccination. We're going to talk about that a little bit more. Just to try to get some insight on how you're feeling about COVID. I see that it's coming to us. And it's being presented to us through work, even when I took my daughter to the doctors today. So it's steadily being introduced to us. So I guess that we're going to have to deal with it. So we're going to talk about that a little bit today. And I have a really good topic for next week as well. And then for that third Wednesday from today, we are looking into having a guest. I just have to have something else on their book. So we're going to pretty much confirm that. And by next week, we should have a guest, and I should be able to give a name and all of that good stuff. So the first thing I'm going to want to know, oh, I forgot to make sure my son was on. Hold on 1 second. Because he normally joins from his work phone.
Hello.
Hey, have you had a chance to join?
I had not. I didn't know y'all was talking.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to send you a text. Okay. All right. So the first thing I wanted to know was from you all today, has anyone had their COVID test done? So that's the first question that I'm asking today. Have you had the COVID test done, whether you've had 1 or 2? I know my oldest brother was supposed to be chiming in just a second. I know that he's had 1. I know my niece's mom has had 1. And I'm just trying to find out if there's anyone on here today who's already had 1 of their COVID shots, or they've had both dosage of their COVID shot. So that's what I wanted to know today, if anyone. So if you've had your COVID shot, if you could respond 1, if you just had 1, and if you've had 2 COVID shots, if you okay, you haven't had any tests done. So, and if you haven't had any tests done, if you could put none. If you had 1 COVID test vaccination done, I'm sorry, I said test. Let me back up and slow down and take a sip. Hold on 1 second. Okay, now let me try this again. So, if you have not had a COVID test done yet, you'll be putting no. If you've had 1 COVID test, you'll just be putting a number 1. And if you've had both COVID tests, I think most of them are 2-part tests, I believe, but I think some people are just getting 1-part test. So I think some tests, I think the Johnson & Johnson, I believe, is just 1 test. But the other two, I believe, is two. So if you've completed the COVID vaccination, um, just put in here that you've finished it, or if you just had part of it, or if you've had none at all. I just want to see who has had it. Okay, so Parkland 35 has vaccine. So are you saying you've had the vaccine, Nathaniel? Because you didn't tell me that you haven't had the vaccine, or are you correcting me from saying test? Okay, so which one is okay? So I'm looking for some people that had it. So for myself, I have not had any part of it yet. Okay, so no, you just said vaccine. Okay, so who's had that vaccine done? So no, I have not had it as of yet. And I don't plan on getting it. So I hear a lot of people talking. So now, if it got to the point where if I was out of the country and I needed to get back in the country, then of course I would do it under those circumstances. And if my job or livelihood made me have to get it done, then I would. But I'm just not up for getting it done at this point. And I've been running across a lot of people who actually have been getting the vaccine. So if anyone has gotten it, I hope my brother hurry up and chimes in. That can just give me an experience, because I'm hearing that now, aside from that, while people is just coming in, aside from that, there's a lot of people that said that there's things on Instagram. Hi, niece, how are you? I'm looking forward to you sharing soon. So there's a lot of people on the internet that's making a lot of jokes about the COVID vaccination. I know one person told me that it was a doctor's office that they were in, and one of the COVID vaccination said for Black people, and the other one said for others, like they're singling it out between Black people. And I heard someone else tell me today, my friend told me today that they told him that the COVID vaccination is a chip. Okay, so I see where you're saying that you think more studies should be done. That's how I feel. So my brother is checking in. So Chucky, you had one COVID test done so far, correct? And you're waiting on your second one. So okay. Hi, Dr. Greenwood. And Tamika, I know Tamika, the other sister Tamika had hers done. I'm not sure if she did one or two. Vaccine, yes. So if I say test, just correct me, because I know Chucky has no problem with it, and I seen Pookie correcting me as well. But so let me make sure I continue to say we're talking about the COVID vaccine. Let me say that and not the test. So again, what I'm trying to do is hear from people that had it, and just if you could just chat, how do you feel about it? Now, always remember, if it's something, because even though people are really open talking about the COVID vaccine, we know that healthcare is protected by HIPAA. We know that it's private. So if it's anything ever uncomfortable, please do not forget that you can always send me a text to 202-758-8941, or Parthenia, Parthina 302 at gmail.com. So Dr. Tamika Greenwood has said she had both. And okay, so my brother said they do bi-weekly tests, so that's why he wanted to clear up with me that we was talking about the vaccine. So tell me about it. So I want to hear from you all. So those of you who are saying no, that you would not get the vaccine, would you do it if you had to do it for your job? I plan on traveling soon. Would you do it if you had to get back into the country? I just want to hear from you with what could possibly, if you're a person like me just saying no, I'm not ready yet, it's not enough studies. Even at my daughter's doctor's appointment today, they tried to give it to her at Children's, and I didn't even know that they was really giving it to children already. I thought they were still dealing with the other population, but I see that I think it was Chipotle that was giving people free food if you went and got it. It was one particular place that had a backdrop. Well, Tamika, I know it was 18 and up, but when I went to Children's today, they're doing it for 16 and up now. So they're doing it for 16 and up. No, I wouldn't definitely have to reconsider my employment at that time. I have to do my research on the vaccine. Yeah, so that's where I am now with it as well. And so you definitely needs to be more information had on it. But I feel like we're being forced. I feel like we're almost at that point with the way things are being done that they are they are forcing us to do it. So yes, one vaccine is 16. So I think that the doctor told me, if I'm not mistaken, she said it's the Pfizer. I think, is that the name of one of them? She said it's the Pfizer that Children's Hospital is giving their kids. So when I took my daughter in today, and then Chucky, you talking about 12 to 15 now. The doctor did because Sanaya's just 14. So the doctor did say, they initially asked about Shamika, but they did say that they're going to start probably next week giving it to 12 to 15 with medical that have medical issues. Okay, so modem is is it modem A is 18. Okay. So they did say that they're going to start giving it to them as well. So I definitely like the response needs about, you would definitely reconsider your employment. Is there anybody else that would truly reconsider? Okay, 2 of my daughter's teachers quit. Teachers don't want to be forced. Right. And that's how I'm feeling. And that's where they're going to eventually take all of us. Like, we're not going to have an option. Like, although they're offering it to us now, I think eventually they're going to try to make us have to take it. So for some of us that have not taken it and have no plans of taking it, how do you feel about not being able to go back to work? How do you feel about not being able to enter the country if you was to leave the country? How do you feel? Because eventually, the thing about United States, even though we feel like we're so free here, but it's also a situation where we've been forced to do a lot of things, like even down to shots and the shots and stuff that they give us. Really, a lot of times you didn't have a choice because of those types of things. Because I know, like with where my kids was in DC public schools, you had to have shots in order to go to school. Maryland's a little different, but you had to have shots to go to school. So your kids can't go to school without vaccine. So Mika, are you saying that eventually, once FDA approves, will probably be just like the flu virus? Okay, the flu vaccine. So now, okay, so Tamika, you're saying that Dr. Greenwood, is on here with us, and she's saying like the flu vaccine. Well, I've never had the flu vaccine before. So, am I understanding you correctly? Like, so does that mean that the flu vaccine is mandatory? Because right now they normally offer it to me every time I go for my yearly physical, and I decline it. So right now that's not forced. What I'm thinking about when I'm trying to say forced, like, what about a situation? Okay, so flu is mandatory for healthcare. We're all got it. So if you work in the healthcare industry, you have to get the flu shot. That's what you're saying, Tamika? Okay. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about too as well, like, should we be forced to get something that has not been approved by the FDA? Most hospitals, yes, I can't work. Okay, so you can't currently work without it. Okay, so I know when I was working in daycare over 20 years ago, we had to have a TB test done. I don't know if they still do that, but I know that was a requirement when I worked in daycare, and this probably was about 25 years ago when I worked in daycare. You had to have a TB test to work in a daycare. So I think back then they wasn't really doing a flu shot, so I probably wasn't forced to have had that done. So now I want to hear from you all, and please chime in. Like, I want to hear from you all. How do you feel about us being forced to take something? Because it may get down to that. Like, how do you all feel about being forced to take something that has not been approved? Like, why should I have to be the test dummy? No offense to those who had it already, because everybody have their own different beliefs. But why do I have to have it if it hasn't been approved yet? What is your take on that? I need to hear from you, Chucky. I need to hear from you, Mika. I need to hear from you, Karen. I need to hear from you, Toya. I just want to know, like, what is your take on it? Like, why should we have to get in there? I get that people are volunteering. Like my brother either told me, you want to get it before they run out, and then they may not have, what you want or what you're trying to get. But what is the option to me? Okay, so you looked at it as, hey, if I don't get this, we could possibly die from it. Okay, the vaccine. Hold on, so now I'm confused, because now my brother is saying that the vaccines are approved, but it hasn't been approved by FDA. So Tamika, I'm gonna need your help with that a little bit to have a discussion with Chucky. Help me Understand. So PG has the lowest numbers of people having vaccine. Oh wow. Okay. Well, I guess I'm comfortably waiting. So it's a lot of people they got to get before me. Sanaya, emergency only. Emergency. Okay. So emergency only. What I don't understand because okay. So when you say emergency only, meaning that um it hasn't been approved by FDA, but it's been approved to do it in the emergency realm, like okay, approved for the emergency. Okay, got it. Okay, so now I have another topic that I want to talk about. And let me take my time so I can make sure y'all hear me and make sure y'all get where I'm going at with this. Okay. So I, thank God, knocking on wood, have never had COVID. Okay. So I've never had COVID. And I know that there's numerous amounts of people out there that had COVID, some even losing their life. So what I want to know about the vaccine at this time, is it the same type? The studies were second half 2020. Okay. So is it where so will I get the same type of vaccine not having COVID as someone who has had COVID? Because I'm just trying to figure out like what is exactly in it. Meaning like, is it something in there that say like I've never caught COVID before? So meaning that my immune system may be a little stronger. This is my actual honest word. So if my immune system did not catch COVID, I'm kind of fearful that by getting the shot, it would make it easier for it to get it. So I want to know. Thank you, Kern. So I want to know, like, in the dose of the vaccine, do anybody know where I can research or find more information about? We know that people are getting it that had it. So especially someone that may have had it before, like you're definitely like, I'm going to get this vaccine. I know what it felt like. I know what I went through. I don't want this feeling again. So if you run across something of that nature, then how does that look for somebody that had it versus has not had it? And that's what I would want to know from the FDA before getting a shot. Like, is it the same thing, whether someone's had it or not had it? So, do anyone has any information on that itself? So, I haven't had it. I think my immune system is great. I wouldn't want to get the shot and it break me down real bad. What do you think about that? This raspberry tea is delicious. Any thoughts on that? Okay. You can't get COVID from the vaccine. If you get the vaccine, it just gives you better immunity, which means if you are exposed, your body will know how to fight it off. Okay, so Mika, I definitely respect that, but because I haven't had it, what if what is that word they were talking about at the beginning? What is it called? Asymptomatic, I think it was, where some people was not taking it. So if I am asymptomatic, do I need the shot? So that's another part of that question, because if I'm I don't need it, right? Like if I'm, and I'm thankful, knocking on wood, I don't need it. And anybody, right? So that's how I feel too. I don't want the vaccine. Then all of a sudden I start get right, exactly. So that's my thing. So my thing is, because someone like myself, and anyone that pretty much knows me, which mostly everyone on here I have a personal relationship with, that in the beginning of COVID, I was all over the place. Like, I truly didn't take it as serious. What really made it serious for me is when my youngest brother caught it, and he started to have heart failure and all those types of things. And when I seen how I broke him down, it made me think and be like, okay, so even though I haven't caught it, I wouldn't be the one. I wouldn't want to be the one passing it. So even when my church was having services initially, I didn't go in because I was so many places. And I didn't want it to be like an elderly person in my church got sick because of my selfishness and me not taking it serious. So like, I'm all over the place and I may not catch it, but I may can pass it. So because I didn't know enough about it, that's what made me stop. So, okay. So Nisa, that's what she wants to know too. So that's what honestly made me stop ripping and running, what I seen, what it did to my baby brother. Like, it was just like horrible what he went through, being hospitalized with that, and stories I heard from other people. So, okay, so Pfizer Strengthens your immune system. Okay, so you're saying that the Pfizer one strengthens your immune system. Okay. Asymptomatic means you were exposed with no symptoms. They say if you have had it, you are covered for at least 90 days. You can't get it again. Okay, so I never heard that data. Okay, so thanks for sharing that, Mika. So if so, isn't there a test that someone who is asymptomatic could take? So, like if I take one and I say that COVID can't affect me, is there a way, like, do you think that the government will have it where I can prove that I'm asymptomatic, which I hope that would be the case, so that I wouldn't get the vaccine? Do you see our government moving in that direction? Do anyone have any take on that? Yeah, just trying to figure out, like, because I'm trying to learn from you all today, as well as share, what I know, as well as what we share together as a group while we're sipping our tea, is ways that we can maneuver and get away from it. While I'm waiting for y'all to type, y'all know I'm still on the journey with these sister locks. So this side right here, this the cute side. She's cute. But on here is still that big cornrow. I cornrowed it neatly now. I did get it maintenance though. All coming down here. But if I just keep my head to this side, I'm so freaking cute on this side. Just this side give us a little bit more hood. Okay, so back to COVID. Let's see what we got in here. It's up. Can someone get COVID again? Okay, so Karen was asking Tamika, so it covered, so when Tamika said about it covering it for 90 days, can they get it again? Okay, so the problem is COVID attacks weaken immune systems. So if you healthy, it means nothing, but you can still carry it to another. Right, Chucky. That's why I was getting at with it. So that's why I set my tail down. Like when Prentice got sick, that was it. I set myself down. Yes, they say you can definitely get it again. Also, Mika, you know someone personally that had it twice. Oh wow. Okay. So, Mika, if you would happen to know the person that you're saying had it twice, was it outside of that 90-day window though? Oh, and she gave it to you. That same coworker? Oh, 1 year later. Okay, okay. So didn't really probably know much about it the first time around. So it came back. You can get the second strand. Okay, so Chucky, are you saying that if they got the vaccination, are you saying they got the vaccination the first time, or if they had COVID the first time, it came back again with the second strand? Because they're saying that something else is supposed to be going coming out, a different type of COVID is supposed to be coming out. Right. So I guess it's clear that you can still get it with the vaccine. It's just that by getting the vaccine, it reduces or basically it decreases the outcome. So basically the vaccine kind of presents against death. Like that's the number one reason for the vaccine. Pretty much like the flu shot. Like they're saying that you can still have some symptoms of the flu. It just won't be as bad. And see, like even when my one of my brother girlfriends had told us that she was over our house. I think it was for my son party. I think we had a party for him, and she was over our house. So she said she thought she had it. So of course, like I'm really worried because my mom got she has a pacemaker, she got all types of health issues. So I was really scared. So since then I had started like boiling onions, garlic, oranges. My mother used to hate me coming with that concoction, but I was like, come on, mom, you gotta drink this, you gotta drink this. And not only am I so thankful that I never caught it, but my mom didn't catch it, and that was more concerning for me, like taking care of her. And every time I would move, she'd want to move me. Where you going, Kitty? I'm going. I'm like, Mom, you ain't going nowhere. You staying in this house. Yeah, I'm going on there. I want to take no. I said, Mom, COVID is out there. Like you about to be 70 years old. Where's 70-year-old people going doing COVID with a pacemaker and other health issues? But she wanted to. So I'm thanking God that even for that whole year that He kept her, and I was able to take good care of her. is more like symptoms and right, exactly. So that's why I was so concerned for her. Like the flu shot, it reduces the impact. Right. Okay, Chucky. So reduces the impact. So definitely was making up all types of mixes, just mixing up all types of things. Yes, praise God that like mixing things together to like get her immune system up and running, and just bleaching down everything. So just the fact of just that whole year from March to March, because from March to March made it 1 year for most of us that we knew of. But I ran across people that stated that they had been sick the end of 2019. A child had been sick the end of 2019, different people, and the doctors didn't have a clue because I don't think it was as much information on it back then. So people could have had it then and didn't know. So when I think about the time frame of March of 2020 to March 2021, and we still here and healthy, like that's a praise God, right? That's a praise God praise report right there. My coworker was sick. Yeah. So some people was getting sick, but they just didn't know what it was back then, and I don't think our government at the time took it as serious. So that's very important to me that we're able to get through it. So whether you find yourself as someone who is totally against it, whether you're someone that's all for it, whether you're someone that's weighing in the middle, just educate yourself. Educate yourself. They call it asthma antibiotic. So just educate yourself. Like education is knowledge. Like sometimes it's hard to kind of sit and get on Google and probably read through it, but forums like this helps us educate each other by sharing information. I know my sister. Before I get off, I definitely want to tell my sister Tamika, she's now Mrs. Tamika Estep. I want to tell her congratulations. She was married on yesterday. So she's honeymooning. So I'm pretty sure she wasn't able to join in today. But I know she had a lot of insight on that COVID and dealing with her job and where she works and what she does. So we definitely want to say congratulations to her. So if you all could say congratulations to Mrs. Estep, that would be greatly appreciated. She has definitely taught me what it is to persevere, like to be consistent and love without fail, because that's one thing I struggle with. It's really easy for me to love on my brothers and sisters and kids and grandkids, but that relationship for me, I think it probably was things that I witnessed as a child, but that was really tough for me, like loving somebody after it's been a situation, and we're all human, so we all make mistakes. So I definitely always telling her how I admire her drive and just so many different things. Like, so many people, give up when we're almost at the finish line. So I think that's so important. So again, I'm still undecided. I didn't get swayed. I'm definitely always impressed by my big brother and my little sister. But I'm so thankful for Karen helping me watch my back with this. So, Karen is the one that told me that I couldn't be Pacific. I always tell y'all that story of her. We all at work one day and I'm talking and having my Ebonics on, and I'm talking about being Pacific, and I get a text, and it's a picture of the Pacific Ocean. I'm like, why is Karen sending me? And it's always because I ain't say specific. So since then, I try to be as politically correct as I can, Karen. So when you on the same page with Karen, that's a great thing. Like I'm always telling somebody that story. Like if it's one word I won't mess up anymore, ever again, is that word right there. So I hope you all sip something good. I know I had something good. This raspberry tea was delicious. Hi Trail. This raspberry tea was everything. I know that wine was just as good. And I'm going to get ready to head on down to L'Oreal Plaza and had me a little swirl with best friend. And I just thank you all so much for just taking your time to sit with me on Wednesday. Like definitely taking the time to sit with me. As I said, next week I have a really, really, really good topic, but I didn't want this COVID vaccine to get past me because I'm always thinking of something important. And I had wanted to talk about the COVID vaccine some time back, and some other things came in. So I didn't get to do it. So I said, hey, this topic I got for next week is really interesting. But then hopefully after that, we can have the guest speaker, and then I definitely have something good coming as well. So, one of the things the guest speaker is one of the persons I'm going to have and be talking to us about is one. I also asked my niece to share with us about a project that well something that she's selling. So if there's anyone that want to market something, whether it's something that you're selling, clothes, juices, or anything. If you want to take a few minutes on the show on any given day to sip some tea and talk about your business to help with your clientele, please feel free to do so. What I'm working on now is having a person to come out and talk about mortgages, new mortgages versus refinancing versus a line of credit. So they're going to talk about those types of things. It's going to be plenty of information from everybody because it may be someone considering buying a home. It may be someone who already purchased one and has a high interest rate. It may be someone just wanting to sip some tea with me. So I just want to say thank you all so much for sipping with a sister on this Wednesday. Whatever you choose to do, I hope and pray that it's what's best for you. I hope that whatever they place inside our body from the vaccine will pair up perfectly with what you need, and it will disregard anything that you don't need, so that you will continue to have a healthy lifestyle, that we will get back to norm as soon as possible. I've seen a lot of you, but I miss so many of you all so much. Me, Karen Flood, and Lewis will hook up and go have us a nice DHS lunch. So I just want to say thank you so much, and as always, thank you for sipping with a sister. Have a good day.